I'm going to share with you the 10 most important lessons I learned at Harvard Business School. Lessons I use every single day. And I'm going to do it in 10 minutes. They work for me and they'll work for you. Number one is inspiration. What I learned was the impact that single individuals like you and me, but individuals who bring passion, vision, energy, and courage to an organization, to a problem, to a challenge. It's amazing what they can achieve. When I went to Harvard, I was in a pretty dark place in my career, and I was working in a company that was in a really dark place. And it got to the point where I don't think I or the people in the organization really believed that change was possible. Harvard made me believe not just that change was possible, but it made me believe that I can do it. And I'm telling you, if you bring passion, energy, vision, courage, you can do it too. Two is a really simple point, but a really big point. All organizations change or they die. An organization is either moving forwards or it's moving backwards. As the Red Queen told Alice, around here, you've got to do all the running you can do just to stay in the same place. And that's true of us, and that's true of the teams, organizations, startups that we work in. If we stand still, everybody goes past us. Number three, humility. I went to Harvard and I thought I was a pretty smart guy. I thought I was a pretty worldly guy. And I got there and I realized just how big the world was, how much opportunity there is in the world, and how little I knew. What does that mean in terms of how it affected me? I think it made me value curiosity. I look around now and I look for people who are curious. The best people I've ever worked with, you know what connects them? They're curious. Curiosity drives our willingness to learn, and the best people are like sponges. They learn so fast, and we can all do it. Learning is driven by our attitude. Are we prepared to listen? Are we prepared to fail? Are we prepared to learn from our failures? 4 is the one that changed my life. This is the one that I think about and use the most. Number 4 is execution is everything. All the other things that we read and hear about leadership, that the leadership industrial complex sells us, strategy, visions, purpose, missions, value, they're all important, they all matter, but they count for naught without execution. Strategy counts for naught, ideas are simple and easy. What is hard is getting stuff done. Without getting stuff done, you fail, you don't move forward, you achieve nothing. For people that get stuff done, the sky's the limit. 5, urgency is the cornerstone of change. Urgency is how we develop momentum, and change is all about momentum. So often change programs fail because they're too prosaic, they're too slow, they have grand ideas, but they move too slowly. And of course, urgency also matters when it comes to change because there's something behind you, there's something chasing you. If you're sitting on the beach trying to work out what your strategy is, the tsunami's going to wash you away. So urgency trumps strategy in any change program. 6 is passion, vision, energy. Over the past decade, I've probably had 100, maybe more than 100 CEOs work for me. And just think of all the other leaders that worked for them. And it's amazing how often leaders would come and talk to me and complain that the people that worked for them weren't passionate enough or weren't energetic enough or just didn't get it. But at the end of the day, if you're in charge, whether you're in charge of 2 people or whether you're in charge of 40,000 people, if you don't bring the passion, if you don't bring the vision, and if you don't bring the energy, where's it going to come from? It comes from you. And these aren't things that we have to go to a business school to learn. These aren't skills. These attributes we all have. And we have to understand that they are perhaps the most important attributes for any leader, whether you're leading yourself or you're leading a huge corporation, whether you're leading a startup or a school. Number 7, leadership is difficult, but it is not complicated. There's so much bullshit around the subject. Just by wiping away some of that bullshit, we can make better leaders of us all. And this snake oil that we're sold by the leadership industrial complex, it inhibits people who are in leadership positions from fulfilling their potential. And worse than that, it excludes whole swathes of our society from believing that leadership is something that matters or is relevant to them at all. And yet we need more better leaders everywhere. There is no such thing as a leadership type. Not only can we all learn to lead, we should all learn to lead. Because leadership is how we fulfill our personal ambitions. Leadership is how we help our organizations fulfill their collective ambitions. And leadership is how we help other people fulfill theirs. 8, follow your personal compass. When I went to Harvard, I was lost. I had quite a big job, but I didn't have a clear view of what leadership was or how I wanted to lead. And I see so many people, senior people right the way through to junior people, who are ambitious, who are well-intentioned, who are good people, but they haven't got a clear view of how they want to lead. Now, of course, I'd like everybody to agree with my vision for leadership, but I say to everybody, it's not about agreeing with me. What matters most is that you fall for yourself, your own personal vision for what great leadership is and how you want to go about doing it. You might fall short of that sometimes, of course you will. We all do. But what matters is you have a bar, your own personal bar to aim for. And in fact, when I was researching, recording this, I went back and looked at the notes that I wrote right after I left Harvard. And the 2 notes that I put under this heading were do good and have fun. And, you know, it's not an entire philosophy for life, but it's not a bad place to start, right? Number 9 is look out for predictable surprises. The physicist No Bullsh said prediction is very difficult, particularly when it's about the future. And yet there are things that happen to us and happen to our organizations that we treat like surprises, but we perhaps should have seen coming. So everything from a major customer who's in financial difficulties, if that goes wrong, that's obviously a big problem for us. We need to start thinking about what we're going to do about it before it happens, right the way up to the COVID pandemic. Did nobody see it coming? I think everybody saw it coming, and yet it took everybody by surprise. Should it have done? I don't think so. Will the next one? Let's hope not. Number 10 was about me personally. Why did I decide that I was going to try and change about me as a result of this experience? Well, I can characterize that in 4 ways. I determined that I was going to try and take more decisions more promptly. I was going to be more brave, and I was going to take more chances. And finally, that I was going to be better at giving feedback, and I was going to be better at receiving feedback. And I think perhaps the last one, the one about feedback, is the less sexy. It's sexier to talk about bravery when it comes to leadership. But you know what? Organizations, all of our organizations are all just about people. They're about how people interact with other people. And being great at giving people feedback, good and bad, and taking feedback, which is how we learn, good and bad, is a difficult thing to do. And yet it's a really, really important thing to do if we're going to learn and grow. And as we've established, the best people are the people that learn the fastest. So if you enjoyed that, hit like, hit subscribe. If you think I've missed stuff, if you disagree stuff, leave it in the comments. Look out for lots more. Good luck.